Welcome back to Sportsline Live. As you guys know, I am Kelly Stewart. I am joined by Michael Roberts, my favorite bookmaker. He's going to give me some incredible insight and hopefully talk me off the ledge on a couple of these games. Michael, let's get it started. Number 10, Penn State, -7 at Indiana. The Lions have been riding high. They have now covered 4 weeks in a row. The Hoosiers have been a team that I've bet a couple different times, and they've struggled to get the actual outright win. They do need another win to be bowl eligible. I have a play on this one on Sportsline.com. But, Micah, have the books started to adjust on Penn State? Is this line just a little bit too high?
No, I don't think it's too high at all. I think it's actually right where it maybe actually a little low on Penn State. You got to love what they've been doing lately. They've won their last 5 games. They've covered 4 of those games, actually pushed on another one. Trace McSorley, over that span, the 5-game winning streak, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. They are a fluid team, and the defense is playing better. So I don't think Indiana is going to have a lot of luck in this game. I actually could see a score similar to what we saw with Iowa last week with Penn State. Maybe not as many points, but that would still get you under 59 points. And, yeah, 41-10, does that add up right? It does, right? Yeah, so I think it'll be a low-scoring game.
All right, next up, Mississippi State +29 at the #1 team in the country, Alabama. As we saw last week, Alabama was shut down offensively for 3 quarters, but they still proved they are the best team in the country. This week they played Mississippi State, a 6th-ranked SEC West team who just knocked off Texas A&M. The line is just over 4 touchdowns. Seems to be inflated to me, but hey, I can't blame the books for adding a little bit of juice on Bama. They are now 7-2 against the spread on the season. Mike, I guess what they say is true. Good teams win, great teams cover. Tell me your thoughts on this Mississippi State-Alabama matchup.
Yeah, Alabama's ratings have been climbing every single week, and they keep covering, and that's the mark of a great team. They're 7-2 against the spread, 9 games, and that hasn't been the case even with the championship teams. They struggle to cover the big numbers. Not the case this year. Alabama is getting the job done time and time again, but still 30 points, it's a little scary. And you look at home, Alabama, all 4 games have stayed under the total. You got a number at 55 with the spread at 30. So even though high on the total, just because of what we've seen the last 2 games out of Mississippi State, they beat Texas A&M, and then before that they put 56 points on the board. So the offense is clicking. Nick Fitzgerald has been running the ball well, and they had like over 300 yards rushing against A&M. But how many yards does Alabama allow all season long on the ground? 66 yards a game. At home, they only allow 7.5 points a game. I mean, this is a perfect spot here. There's about a 1.5, 2-point adjustment on the total rating because of what Mississippi State did. So there's kind of a gift there if you want to go ahead and ride that under. And again, all those Alabama home games stayed under the total.
I love it. Next up, number 5, Ohio State, -29.5 at Maryland. The Buckeyes finally just covered a game last week after absolutely dominating Nebraska without Tommy Armstrong. The Terps got blown out by Michigan. I understand, but I'm still trying to make a case for them here. I don't have much on my side other than, is this just too many points on the road for this Buckeyes team?
Well, you saw them not cover 4 straight games, and there was something wrong in the system that they just weren't scoring. They got it out of their system last week for sure against Nebraska, and even without Tommy Armstrong, I mean, it was going to be a massive onslaught of blowout there. The thing I look at with Maryland, they really haven't played anybody until they played Michigan, and the 2 decent teams that they played, they lost to Penn State, they lost to Minnesota, did not cover either of those games, did not score a lot of points. So I could see the Buckeyes covering here, no problem. And you got to look at, you're talking Ohio State and Michigan. So anything you can do, I can do better. Last week, Nebraska 59-3, Michigan against Maryland. These guys are at it. They're waiting for the big matchup, November 26th. Ohio State is 4.5 in that game, by the way. Right now, you can bet that at the Westgate. And if you think they're going to meet in the national championship, if somehow they both get there, you can bet Ohio State -3 or take 3 with Michigan in the championship game. I can't wait for November 26th. I really can't. I'm so excited for that game. But I think that's on their mind, what happened to Maryland. It's like a meter. How bad can we pummel Maryland? And I think that's going to weigh heavily with all the Ohio State players.
All right, Wake Forest plus 35 at number 6 Louisville. Is this a possible look-ahead spot for the Cardinal? They head to Houston on Thursday night. And while the Cougars have faltered some in the season, I'm sure they would love to beat that outside team. Looking in, Wake has been a decent bet for me this summer. Certain scenarios like Florida State, for example, but those games were played in North Carolina. They tend to, I feel like, make teams play down to their level and control the pace of play. Do you think they can slow down this #1 offense in the country, Micah?
I mean, if Duke could, I mean, why can't they? I mean, they're the team that actually prides themselves on defense. They only allow 18 points a game. Most all of their games go under the total. 3 of the last 4 have gone under the total. I mean, Louisville, they had that one game. Other than that, their average one game against Duke, but their average is still 52-15 at home. That's pretty impressive. And you saw last week 52-7 against BC. That's a defensive-minded team. But I think Wake can hang in there. And I could see taking the points and the total. Those are both correlated, I think. I don't know if anybody's going to let you parlay those. But they are there. So play the game, 35 points. I mean, take the points.
All right, Minnesota plus 7 at number 19, Nebraska. As we talked about earlier, the Cornhuskers just got blown out last week. Tommy Armstrong is questionable this week and is going through typical concussion protocols. The Gophers are off a 4-game win streak. I like a team in this matchup, Micah, but I'm curious to see who you like in this one.
Well, I would not look at either of the sides here. I could see Minnesota hanging tough in this game and defensively playing tough. And Armstrong, I mean, there's been all kinds of different reports whether he's going to play or not. He passed protocol kind of. He looked okay in practice. I get that backwards. He practiced okay, but hasn't passed protocol. So we still don't know if he's going to play yet as of Thursday. But the backup, Riker Fife, he's terrible. So if he plays for certain, it's a definite play on the under. The offense isn't going to be there. Nebraska is an under team anyway. They've gone under 7 of 9 games this season. So I would definitely I would look at the under here on the total here in this game. And even with Armstrong in there, but it's a definite must play on the under if Armstrong's not in there.
Awesome. You guys can get my play on that one on sportsline.com. Next up, number 22, Boise State laying 17 at Hawaii. The Rainbow Warriors just got absolutely destroyed last week by the Aztecs. I kind of saw that one coming, but not quite that bad. But despite how ugly that game was, Hawaii is still looking to be bowl eligible. The Broncos didn't seem to care last week too much about the San Jose Spartans. Micah, do we get a Broncos team who actually gets up for a game, or is this just kind of a win in advance? We don't have a lot of motivation here.
I don't know what's going on with Boise State. They don't cover all year. 2-7 against the spread. That's awful for a team that's supposed to be. I mean, the level of competition, everybody is scoring on them, and that's why I look at the total here at 63.5. I know Boise's going to get their 38 to 40 points, but for some reason, I mean, they're giving up 31 points to San Jose State. I mean, that's inexcusable at home. That is a lot of points to give up there. The defense has let them down all season long. Boise State hasn't covered their last 4 games, so that's something you got to look at there, laying that many points on the road there. And what else do we have here? Hawaii over has gone 11-3 in their last 14 games. So I think Hawaii is going to be able to score here. I don't know about the goofy start time. It's 4 o'clock Pacific time, so that makes it like, what, 1 there or 2 there? I don't know. I've only been to Hawaii once in my life, so but I remember watching early games like real early, and it was not that much fun. I think they're overrated, not covering the number they're supposed to. The defense not like it's been in the past, although I will say that their only 2 covers have come on the road. So take it for what it's worth. But I would expect points there, 63.5. It looks light.
All right, thank you so much. USC plus 9 at number 5, Washington. Mike, I don't know if I'm buying the Trojan hype. We saw this line open at 10, dropped to 8.5. Now we're seeing some 9s again. The Huskies are just so good. They're averaging 43.8 points per game, which is the second best in the country. They have covered 4 out of their last 5 in this matchup with USC. Interesting, though, the Superbook had this line at Washington -3 back in August. I want to back the Huskies. I want to be the contrarian here against some of the sharp guys I know playing the Trojans. Micah, what do you make of this one?
Well, I look at USC, their 5-game win streak, and they've gone under all 5. The defense has picked it up, but they've kind of gone outside of Colorado, which they did not cover against. They've gone against the mediocre middle version of the Pac-12. They haven't faced the tougher opponents, and I would definitely consider Washington the elite of the conference. I mean, USC, Oregon, Cal, Arizona, and ASU. I mean, those teams are basically terrible. And they did beat Colorado by 4, but they did not cover that game. And I'll say this about Washington. This is only the second time this year that they've had single digits to lay. So if you're going to lay it, you got a lot of things going for you. You got national championship. You got Heisman with Browning still in the mix there. That's something you got to look at. And the defense. So, I mean, first instinct, haven't played the game yet, and I'm leaning towards taking Washington laying the points and also the under there. I think those are two plays there. And I don't see USC's USC's offense been playing well, but the level of competition just hasn't been there. Colorado's defense, one of the best in the nation, not just in the Pac-12. USC had a tough time scoring against them.
I haven't been keeping track, but I feel like we're on a pretty good record when you and I both agree on a side. Last but not least, Cal plus 14 at number 25, Washington State. As you guys saw, the Cougs just absolutely dominated Arizona. They are now plus 88 points against the number at home. I think if these guys can keep their focus, not overlook Cal before playing Stanford next week, this game looks like it could be another blowout.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those Xbox football type games where it's just back and forth, no defense. And you see a total at 83.5, and you're like, man, that looks way high. I'm not going over on that, but that might be done by the third quarter, early third quarter, just because Cal plays absolutely no defense at all, and Washington State is clicking. You got two really good quarterbacks here, and I expect a real high-scoring game, like over 100. I mean, really, that's what Washington State's doing now. So I think there's a big edge on the over here, and I wouldn't even feel bad about laying the points just because Cal is that bad. I think Washington State's going to score more than them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 60-40 score.
Wow. Awesome. As always, Micah, thank you for all of your great insight, and make sure you guys check out our other videos. We got a Thursday night video up right now. We're going to have a Monday Night Football up video right now, and you guys can see all of those on sportsline.com.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. Bye-bye.